we've got our restaurants model and controller pretty much fleshed out. What I want to do next is to get in some real good data in our application. So if we do a search right here and take a look at Tom's Bistro, we created this restaurant way early on in the development process. It doesn't have a latitude or longitude coordinate, and it's just not really good for us. So if we wanted to do a search based on location, Tom's Bistro probably wouldn't show up because we don't have coordinates for that restaurant. So what I want to do next is to create better data for us to play around with. So the first thing that we'll do is go into our text editor, go into seeds, and if you remember, these are the categories that we created a while back. And so what we want to do here is attach a variable to all of these categories. So Italian equals that. And I'm actually going to get rid of Asian, change it to Chinese. That way I can have a Japanese. And Greek, French, Indian, Mexican. And I'm a bit of a, you know what? I forgot one more that I wanted to add. Let's add category of American. And what I was saying before is I'm a bit of a OCD freak. So what I'm going to do is put these all in alphabetical order. Each Indian comes first. So Japanese and then Mexican. All right. Good. Now what we want to do is create a new restaurant. So we'll say restaurant dot where name equals, we'll just say Taco Bell first, or create name equals Taco Bell. Create a description of tacos, we'll say. Let's take a look at our scheme and see what else we want to put in here. We'll just say city and state. City of St. Paul, state of Minnesota. Let's do the abbreviations. And category ID. Category ID. And this part's important, of Mexican ID. So where am I getting this Mexican? Well, it's getting it from up here. So we named the Mexican category, we attach it to a Mexican variable, and if you remember, restaurants have a category ID, and that has to be an integer. So what we did was we took the category, the variable of Mexican, and attached the ID of that to our category ID column in our restaurant model. So this will work. Let's create 4 more, make it 5, and we can start changing these up. So instead of Taco Bell, let's say Taco John's. We'll have this be named, actually, we'll have this be Barrio, which is in St. Paul, and let's see, another one we can have, we'll just say Joe's Taco, and say Jack in the Box. And I like to mix it up a little bit, so instead of St. Paul being for all of them, let's do Roseville, Minnesota, Minneapolis, and let's see, Maplewood. And then the last one, change it to somewhere that's not in Minnesota so that we can figure it out. So where are there a lot of Jack in the Boxes? California's got a lot of them. So we'll just say San Jose, California. Alright, and so now what we can do is do this for all the categories. And I'm just going to do one more category here, and then I'll leave the rest for you to do as homework. So we have Mexican ID, and now let's create American. Instead of Taco Bell, I have McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, oh, I never changed it up here. This should be Joe's Taco. Oh, good thing I caught that. So in here for Joe's Taco, put Smash Burger, and then for our one in California, we'll put Carl's Jr., my favorite place to eat. Alright, so that's what you'll continue doing for the rest of the categories here. I'll leave that to you as homework, but essentially what you want to do is to put in some data right here, some dummy data, so that we can play around with and conduct searches by it. So one of the kind of important things that you'll want to keep in mind is that for the city and state, you want to make sure that those are legitimate cities and legitimate states. So those are legitimate locations, because with Google or with Geocoder, what it's going to do is it's going to, based off the city and the state, is going to find a latitude and longitude. So just one thing to keep in mind when you're creating all of this dummy data, you can use whatever city and state that you'd like, just make sure that they're actual locations and actual places, so that Geocoder knows to go grab the latitude and longitude. Otherwise, everything else you could name it whatever you want. The restaurant names, you can choose whatever you like. The description, you can choose whatever you like. So probably these, I probably shouldn't put tacos, I'll put burgers. So you can do it like that. So again, I'll leave the rest of the categories up to you. What you'll want to do is create some data for all of the categories so that we can start really playing around with it in the future videos, and continue on with our development process.